Keir Starmer on brink, Labour failure as leader pushes for bureaucratic devolution. Keir Starmer has announced Labour's sprawling devolution plans in a bid to decentralise power from Westminster, yet one trade unionist told Express.co.uk that voters, in fact, don't really like the idea. Sir Keir has committed Labour to delivering a new and vast wave of devolution across the UK. It comes as the Labour leader looks to attract support from Scottish National Party (SNP) voters and scupper First Minister Nicola Sturgeon's plans for independence. Announcing a constitutional commission, Sir Keir said Labour was ready to help rebuild Britain as a united kingdom in a post-coronavirus and post-Brexit world. He faces staunch opposition from Ms Sturgeon, however, who has consistently argued that independence is essential for rebuilding Scotland post-COVID-19. She has often used the guise of a Conservative government in Westminster to claim that the interests of Scots are being ignored. And while Sir Keir faces a challenge in Ms Sturgeon, he also faces difficulties in winning over those whom he plans to divert power to. Paul Embury, a leading trade unionist and Labour member, told Express.co.uk that the party had already tried considerable devolution during former leader Tony Blair's leadership, in the early noughties, which only led to yet more bureaucratic tiers of government with no real affinity. Mr Embury notes the failed 2004 North East devolution referendum, in which those living in the region voted against 78% to 22%. He said, "I don't think people really like the idea of regional governments. The Labour Party tried it back in the early noughties with the North East and it wasn't taken up by people. I think people see these regional prospective governments as artificial constructs, and people just think it's another tier of government that doesn't have any real affinity. If you go to the northeast, people might feel Geordie or they might feel that they're from a particular place or county like Durham, but they don't feel like a northeasterner. That doesn't really have much meaning. If you go to Devon and Cornwall, people might feel like they're from Devon or Cornwall and have an affinity to those counties, but they don't feel like southwesterners. So I don't think this regional stuff cuts through." While it is true that Sir Keir's devolution message was mostly aimed at Scotland, the Labour leader will also be hoping those in the north of England take note, those communities in the so-called Red Wall, working class, Labour safe seats that fell to the Tories in 2019.